Hello and welcome to DDR's YouTube channel. In this one, we're going to take a look at the HSTDV test that was conducted in 2020. In our previous video, we took a look at the history of hypersonic missile programs around the world. In case you haven't seen it, the link for the video is in the description below.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now, +1, +2, and counting up.
Article taken off. Page down confirmed.
DRDO put out this video of the experiment. What we see is the launch, but what happened after the launch? We didn't get to see that. Let's take a look at what really happened after the launch. In India, hypersonic research work has been done at various locations for a number of years, especially at the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. Wind tunnels that can cater to hypersonic research were established at the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, and there are other wind tunnels at IIT Kanpur, National Aeronautics Laboratory in Bangalore, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in Trivandrum, and recently a new hypersonic wind tunnel complex was established at DRDL, Hyderabad. Current hypersonic research programs in India include the Space Capsule Recovery Experiment and the Reusable Launch Vehicle Scramjet Engine development at ISRO, as well as the Hypersonic Technology Demonstrator Vehicle program at DRDO. Re-entry vehicles atop ballistic missiles also fly at these hypersonic speeds, but there isn't much in the public domain about Indian programs right now. The development of manned space vehicles requires re-entry technology to safely bring back astronauts from space. To develop this, India launched Space Capsule Recovery Experiment a few years ago. A 550 kg SRE module launched by a PSLV vehicle was successfully recovered, proving a lot of technology is developed for this. ISRO is also developing the reusable launch vehicle. We have a deep dive video just for the RLV program. In case you haven't seen it, take a look. The link is also in the description below. For the RLV, ISRO developed a hydrogen-fueled scramjet engine. Two engines were test-flown successfully atop a sounding rocket. They are also now working on a hydrocarbon-fueled scramjet engine for the future because of all the advantages that a hydrocarbon fuel gives over hydrogen. A longer duration test of their scramjet engine will be performed in the future on a vehicle called HAVA to prove technologies that will enable reuse of the scramjet engine. To read more about this, we have an article about it. There's a link in the description below that you can read. Let's get to the HSTDV test itself. The HSTDV program was to demonstrate a scramjet engine integrated vehicle performance in autonomous mode. As part of proving a working scramjet engine, the program will obviously also prove associated technologies, including aerodynamic design, aerothermal design, materials required, control, hot structures at hypersonic Mach numbers. The mission involved launching the hypersonic air-breathing vehicle called a cruise vehicle to a Mach number of 6.5 at an altitude of 30 to 35 kilometers using a rocket launch vehicle. This was a modified Agni missile. The HSTDV was successfully flight tested on 7th September in 2020 after the first attempt in 2019 failed due to a booster issue. Dr. Satish Reddy, the head of DRDO, told Delhi Defense Review that a full-blown scramjet-powered hypersonic vehicle for payload delivery might be ready within the next 5 years. The aim tentatively is to develop technologies that will enable a 1500 km range missile powered by a scramjet engine. A scramjet engine has no rotating parts like a turbine engine. It operates by compression of free stream air, increasing its temperature and pressure, and then combusting fuel in this compressed air. A nozzle then accelerates the exhaust, producing thrust. Ethylene was the fuel used during the test, although the work on use of an endothermic fuel is under development for some time now. A ship was also deployed in the Bay of Bengal to monitor the performance of the cruise phase of the HSTDV, and DRDO seems very happy with the results. The HSTDV itself is a flying body with wings and tails. It has a forebody, intake, fence, combustor, nozzle, wings and tail. The forebody has ballast, INS and OBC, the inertial navigation system and the onboard computer, as well as transmitters were placed aft of this, followed by the fuel system. Wing and tail actuation systems were placed behind these. The upper portion of the vehicle is made of aluminum alloy and the rest of the airframe is made with titanium alloys. The combustor is made from a nickel alloy with mnemonic C263 alloy struts having a coat of alumina as a thermal barrier. The booster was launched vertically, which then pitched and attained target altitude and speed of 32 km and Mach 5.5 to protect the cruise vehicle from adverse aerodynamic heating in the ascent phase. It is covered with two sets of fairings, nose panels and cylindrical panels, as you can see. The safe separation of the fairings were a must. The nose panels initially opened to a small angle with the help of a pyro charge and then further opened to a pre-decided opening angle due to aerodynamic forces and then released from the vehicle. After the nose panels reach a safe distance, the cylindrical panels are then opened. After the cylindrical panels open, they are released. The fairings are attached to the launch vehicle through cylindrical hinges, and the hinges are designed such that the fairings are released at a preset angle. Fairings are separated with the help of aerodynamic forces to a safe distance, and then the vehicle is injected to the atmosphere. The wings and tail then unfold from their stow positions, followed by the cruise vehicle detaching from the booster. The air intake ramp is then opened, following which ignition occurs upon pumping of fuel into the combustor. The engine then produces thrust for 20 seconds, which is usually determined by onboard acceleration measuring sensors and temperature and pressure sensors in the combustor. The combustor produced nearly 500 kg force of thrust in ground testing. In the next few videos, we'll take a detailed look at all aspects of the HSTDV, the aerodynamics, materials, and other aspects of the intake, combustor, nozzle, and what lies ahead in hypersonic weapons development in India.
Please like this video and share it with your friends on various social media. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated on Indian defense programs and technologies.